everyone! Today I want to share a really simple builder's mirror hack that can completely transform your bathroom from looking like this, where you have the basic builder's mirror that seems to come with every single development these days, to this, with a faux accent wall and cool Art Deco vibes. It's going to completely change the way your bathroom looks and feels, and all it takes is just some wallpaper and a frame. You can build the frame yourself, or you can buy a ready-made frame, and that's how easy it is. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is get a frame. This was my inspiration picture. I ended up building my own frame. I just love the arches. You can also go for something simpler like this, a round mirror look. But if you want to make your own frame like I did, then you're going to want to check the link in my description box below, where I go into detail of how I built this frame from scratch using an embroidery hoop and some wood trim from the hardware store. I'm just showing you a really quick look into how I built this frame, but like I said, the detailed video is in the description box below. If you have caulking on your mirror, the first thing you want to do is get rid of that caulking and clean your mirror really well before you apply wallpaper. Next, how you want to apply your wallpaper is you want to start in the middle and work your way outwards. If you have a light coming out of your mirror like I did, you want to make sure that you measure that and cut that piece out. And you want to either attach it around the light or take the light out and reattach it after you apply the wallpaper. And you want to start at the top and work your way down by peeling the backing and using a plastic putty knife to smooth everything down and get rid of all the bubbles. You want to use a plastic putty knife, not a metal putty knife, because that can potentially puncture holes in your wallpaper. And the way I did it is I peeled the back of the wallpaper and just pushed down gently, starting from the middle and going out to the sides, and never pushing all the way down to where the backing meets the wallpaper, because again, that can puncture holes in the wallpaper. And just go slowly. If the wallpaper isn't fully aligned, you're gonna have to detach and reattach, and make sure you get rid of all those bubbles, because they're going to drive you crazy at the end. And if you have any edges sticking out at the end like I did, you can just use an X-acto knife and cut it out and just peel it away. Next, I'm going to reapply the caulking that I had taken off. Just putting some masking tape down to make sure I have a nice smooth line. There's lots of good videos about how to apply caulking, so I won't go into any of those details here because I'm no expert, but just make sure that you put the caulking back in. Now, mark where the center of your mirror will have to go and where the edges are going to be. And put some masking tape down so you can play around with the placement of the frame to come up with a position that you like. Adjust the height and make sure all the sides are straight. I'm using a level here to make sure my vertical edges are straight. If you have a round mirror, you just want to make sure that it's nicely centered. Then you want to trace the inside of the mirror using a pencil. This is very important. Make sure you trace the inside and not the outside, because once you cut out the wallpaper on the inside, your marking is going to be cut out as well. So just trace all around the mirror. And if you haven't been able to trace any parts where the masking tape is, I made sure that I put the masking tape where the straight edges go, so I can use a ruler or my level to draw in those lines. When you're cutting, you want to cut outside of the line that you've drawn. Not too much outside that the width of the frame can't cover it, but just slightly outside, just so when you peel the wallpaper, the line that you've drawn is no longer visible. And here's a closer look at how I'm cutting. Very slowly. You want to take your time, make sure you're only cutting just a little bit outside, not too much. You can always cut more. Here's what that looks like from closer. And once you're done cutting, it's time to peel. Now, if you've been smarter than I have been and you've traced out your frame out before you've laid down your wallpaper, you can actually save a lot of wallpaper. I ended up wasting a ton of wallpaper this way. And just be extra careful when you get to joints. Okay, once you've peeled everything out, you want to get rid of the sticky bits. I'm using Elmer Sticky Out and just a paper towel to get rid of all the sticky bits, and then giving it a good wipe down with just some Windex. To hold the mirror, I use double-sided mounting tape. This is just Scotch mounting tape. And I cut 2 thin pieces that went behind the straight parts of my frame. I cut them slightly thinner than the width of the frame and placed them right on the wallpaper, not on the mirror. And place them on both sides. And get rid of any masking tape that you may still have. And then position your frame. Then press it down nicely. Because this is a nice thin piece of wood, the mounting tape holds it up just fine. And that's it. Now for the big reveal. I'm so thrilled with how this turned out. It just completely changed the way my bathroom looks. I used to dread going in there before, and now every time I look in the mirror, it's just such a pleasant surprise. And just a reminder of what it used to look like before. That awful wall color I also ended up painting, of course. And I also ended up changing the light fixture, which I've linked in the description box below. But just changing that mirror on its own just made a huge difference. Look at that. And it's all renter friendly too. You can peel it off and take the frame with you on your way out. And if you change your mind about it, you can do the same, just peel it all out. But I'm just so happy with the way it turned out. Hopefully this has inspired you guys to try this hack for your builder's mirror. It's really simple. And thank you so much for tuning in.